There will be many times when you need to draw an arc. An arc is a portion of a circle or an unclosed circle. Maybe it's a circle that's been broken. It's not all of it, it's just part of it. Also keep in mind, if you have a circle object in AutoCAD and you break it or you delete part of it out of there, it actually changes object types. It changes from a circle to an arc. There are many ways to draw an arc, very similarly to the way we draw circles, only there are a lot more options. So you make sure to pick the one that suits your situation the best. Now by default, the arc command is drawn with the 3-point method. So if you type in the word arc, A-R-C, if you just type in the letter A, you can get to the command. Or if you come up to the ribbon and go to the Home tab with the Draw panel, you click on the Arc button. Now it's drawn with a 3-point system. You pick your first point, you pick your midpoint, and then you pick your last point, wherever that's going to be. That's how you draw an arc. It's very simple, and a lot of times that's going to work out best for you. And when you start the arc command, you'll notice that it has some options called center. But there are a lot of other options, and they're real easy, probably even easier to get to through the ribbon panels here. So if you go up to the arc, click on the flyout, and you can see there are a lot of different options. You have a start, center, end, start, center, angle, start, center, length, start, end, angle, start, end, direction, start, end, radius, center, start, end, center, start, angle, center, start, length, and then the continue option. And I'll make sure to show you about the continue option. Now, I'm not going to go into great lengthy detail on all of these because once you get the idea on how some of these work, the rest of them kind of make a lot of sense to you. So when we started the regular arc command, you should have noticed that there was an option called center. Now, this will make your first point the center of the arc. Let me show you the example here. If I click that, I pick my first point here, that's the center of the arc. Now, when I pick my next point, I can continue on drawing your arc. So it's kind of like drawing a circle, and then you type in sort of the radius or a start point, and then you just fill in the rest of it. You can do that. Let's open up a file that I've preset called Arc Examples. Click Open. Now here we have in this file a lot of different lines that are set up for us so that we can try some of these things out. So if we come here, we have this little bracket that's started. Let's pick the arc command. And I want to go to start, center, end, or start, center, angle, or start, center, length. These are all kind of similar in that you pick your first start point, then you pick the center point, and then how you define where you end up at is a little bit different on your options. So let's go with start, center, end. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to type in END for my end O-snap. Make sure I'm right where I want to be. So that's my start point. Now I need the center. You can see this is an arc right here. So I'm going to type in CEN for center. This is the O-snap to take you to the center of an arc or a circle. When I move over this arc part right here, you can see the center, which is right here, gives me a little glyph. That's a round glyph. That's for the center point. So it's now I'm picking that center. And now I'm drawing my arc. And this is the end part. And I'm just going to type in END for my O-snap and end. So I was able to draw that arc right there. Pretty handy. I wouldn't be able to do that with the regular arc command. I'd have to draw one point and then my midpoint, which I would have no idea where that was. As you can see, it doesn't really line up very well. So that are these options right here. You pick your start point, you pick your center point. If you know where it's going to end, you can put that in there. If you know what angle it spans, so you can see what angle this is. If you know what that is, you can type that in. Or if you know how long you want that arc length to be, you can type in that option as well. So those are your first sets of options. Now your second one is a start and an end, and then your angle, direction, or radius. So let's pick one of these. Let's go with the start, end, and angle. So I'm going to pick my first start point. I'm going to type in END again. I'm going to start here. I'm going to end up here. And then I type in an angle. So as you can kind of see here, as I reposition, coming straight out to the right, that gives me an angle of 0. But as I move up, my angle increases, making the radius more ice cream cone shaped. So if I know what that angle needs to be, I can just type that in, or I can just pick a point, and it makes a nice little pie shape. I can also go start, end, radius. So if I know what the radius is, I can go start, end, and then my radius. So if I know what that distance needs to be, what the radius is of my circle, I can type that in. If I erase this arc here, and I look at this line, I see what my length is, it's 10. Let's assume that this is going to be the center point of my arc. And I choose my start, end, radius option. Type in END, pick this point, and then I type in a value of 10 units. This draws a circle and it makes a perfect pie shape for my arc. And that works fantastically. Now this last section gives you the center point, the start point, and an end point, or an angle or a length. So let's look at the center, start, and end. So first I want to pick my center point, which is going to be right here. So I'm using my end O snap. My next is my start point. Type in END, pick here. Now there's one thing to keep in mind with arcs. When you start an arc, regardless of how you start it, it is always drawn in a counterclockwise direction. So if I do this, this will draw a very large upside down Pac-Man looking shape. But if I want my arc to come through this middle part, I have to hold down the control key, and that will switch my direction, and I can just draw it again. So if I type in END, then I hold down the control key, I move over here, and it'll snap to that point right there. So which one of these arc methods do you use? Well, it depends on what information you have and what you want to draw. How do you know that? You just have to look at it. You have to see, like in this case here, we knew the center point, we knew the end point, and we knew the start point. So we were able to use that option. Here, with this method, we used these first options. We knew the start point, we knew a center point, and we knew an end point. So a lot of these are the same thing, start, center, end. You see here, start, center, end. They're just in different orders. You have a start, end, angle, direction, or radius. So it also depends on what you have and what order in which you can get to that information. It's just a matter of trying it out and getting used to it. Now that continue method that I wanted to talk to you about is a nice little thing. If you draw an arc and then you want to continue that arc, meaning not lengthening the arc or anything like that, but you want to draw another arc that starts from that same point, click the continue option. This will draw another arc that's tangent to the last one you drew. It'll only draw one and then the command ends. Now you can't press enter to restart it. That'll just restart your arc command, but it will not be continuous. So you have to go back here manually, click the continue button, and keep drawing it that way. So it's just a nice little thing that will draw an arc that is tangent to the last arc you drew, but it is a little cumbersome to use, but it is there and is available. So as you can see, there are a lot of different ways to draw arcs, and you need to use the method that's best for your specific situation based on what it is you want to achieve and what information you already have.